Caption. And then I'll go ahead and join on this side. Yeah, Unit 3 lab is what we're gonna be doing. Okay. Relinquish. Share screen. So we can go ahead and download the lab. How are you doing? We'll start in about a minute or so. Hello.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Much better.
Callie today. You can use Ubuntu, you just gotta bring in some of the tools because they're not exactly the same.
You can install it too, no? To,
Yeah. You can just download the VM,
say what?
the virtual machine. We're gonna do that now. Yeah, we don't have to make anything. It's nice. Because not everybody got that done last time, or I don't wanna spend a lot of time trying to fix the Ubuntu machine, but we can come back to the Ubuntu later. Okay, so let's download lab 3. If you want a head start, you click this link to download Kali Linux VM for VirtualBox. And I'll walk you through that in a minute. Okay, so today we are going to spend a little bit of time to configure FTP server. FTP server is still somewhat popular. As you know, if you ever use Mozilla, right, they support FTP. FTP is a way that you can share files with the public. A lot of FTP sites are still public. Back in the day, FTP was really popular in how we will be able to share files like, text files, journals, articles. But now mostly it's a way to exchange files, upload and download. So in this week lecture, I spent a little bit of time on, protocols and services. So make sure you watch the video and answer the questions. If you didn't get to do that last week, make sure that you get caught up. Hi. So we are going to set up a server via Linux. I want to show you how. So the steps that you're doing today is on Kali Linux, which is in the same family as Ubuntu. It's Debian family. So you can do a lot of the same steps in Ubuntu, but Kali is used for ethical hacking as the basic foundation, but there are other people who prefer other releases. So as you take, ethical hacking classes, you will see Kali again. Kali actually has their own certification called offensive security certification. And if you want to be on the red or the purple team, that's what you want to get. And we can talk a little bit more about it in the upcoming week, where we talk a little bit more about brute force and attacks. So today we are gonna do FTP server. We are going to do a little bit of an active scan, but Nmap is very popular in security. So I want to show you how you can scan a server to be able to kind of see like what's going on with that server. Okay. All right. So let's take a look at the lab. And as you download the lab, you can open it up. There's a link on here. What you can hit control and click it. And it's going to open up this page and I bring you directly here. So you are going to download a pre-made virtual machine for VirtualBox, which is the middle one right here. If you use other software, right, the virtualizer, you are going to download these. But we're going to download this. And so you just click the arrow, and I did do the screenshot for you. It's going to come down in your downloads folder. So, and it's going to be a zip file. Okay, so that takes about 2 minutes to download. Now, Kali, just to let you know that there are a lot of different, ways to use Kali. You can download the ISO to install on a regular machine or make your own virtual machine. There are also different installer. They do a really good job in giving you some documentation and at least the very basic guide. So I actually been using variation of Kali for a long time since it was backtrack days. That was the before Kali, right? So what you want to do is you want to download the VirtualBox and it's going to come down as a zip file. So go to your downloads folder. It's going to look like this. Just a regular VBox is fine. Okay. So you are going to see a dot, a .zip or some kind of zip compressed folder. We're going to right click and we're going to choose 7-zip. If you don't have this at home, you just do extract all and it's going to extract it in the downloads folder for you. So we are going to choose that and then we're going to extract files. Okay. So once you download the zip folder, we are going to decompress it. And inside it is already a pre-made virtual machine. They did a really nice job where they enable a lot of the functionality with the tools. So we'll be able to do that. Okay, we'll use, so it will take copy and paste. In the case where you use command, you don't want to type out a bunch of things, but be careful with the symbol going from Word to the terminal. So once you right click it, the compressed folder, choose 7-zip, and we're going to extract files. And you are going to see a regular folder after you extract. It's going to look like this, right? Without the little zip symbol. You're going to open it again, and you're going to double click the blue icon. And that's going to automatically mount and start your VM. You can use VirtualBox and navigate to your downloads folder, the decompress folder, and do the same. But if you double click the blue icon inside the decompress folder, you should be able to launch your VM. Okay. So again, we're going to download. We're going to extract it in the downloads folder. Right click, 7-zip, extract files. After we extract, we're going to open up the decompress folder and its subfolder, and you are going to double click the blue icon. That's your VBox file. Always use your VBox file. And the VDI, as you install already, you understand that this is for the disk and this is for the virtual machine under VirtualBox. So once you double click that, right, you are going to be able to play. So I already had mounted that earlier, so I'm going to go ahead and click start. Any questions? So you're going to get this screen, just press enter to go to GNU or new, right, desktop. So when you tell people that you're using Kali, and you put this on your resume, right? There are many tools in Kali and it changes frequently. So as you see that they release weekly box as they add new tools and remove non-working tools. So we want to be able to know how to go through and use some of the scanners and the security tools on here. Hello, we just got started with lab 3. Make sure you look at the steps. All right. Any question? Yes. Did you extract?
did, but I did, oh, wait.
Go to your downloads.
I extracted it.
Okay.
Here.
Double click. There you go. Yeah, if you try to open the compressed one, it will fail to load. Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Is this working?
Oh, that went down too.
Right click the list on the left, right click the tally on the left. Right click the tally on the left.
Oh, this,
Right click. I want you to remove. Wait, don't click next. Click remove only. Okay. Now, just go back to your folder. Just modify. Okay, click okay. All right, go here. I'm sorry. Yes, you have it.
but this is when I first downloaded it, it downloaded here, and then when I extracted the files.
Yeah, this is the downloaded one. This is with the 7-zip. This is the extra. Open that up. Open the other folder, the subfolder. Double click the blue. Click start on the right. Wait. Should be okay, right? Other questions? I think you were trying to open the file inside the compressed folder and set up the extracted folder. That's okay. Yeah, so we extracted, we open it up, and once you're in, right, press enter to do the Kali Linux. That's the first option. And then you're gonna log in. The username is Kali by default, and the password is Kali by default. And they change this occasionally, so you just go and look up the information if you download a new version that has a new user account. Your terminal is the black square box at the top, right? So it looks similar to other Debian release, but what the cool thing about Kali is that it has the tools grouped in different phases for ethical hacking or for hacking purposes. You see that there? So we are going to use one of the tool in Kali for information gathering, which is Nmap. Okay. So what I did was I finished this step right here. Okay, you need to log in after you follow the steps. And I know most of you already, if you took my other class, 27A, you've seen Kali before. So. Okay, so let's talk about FTP server. This is your general description of FTP. It is a way that a system can connect to our system to be able to upload files and download files. And you see this a lot on the web, right? Instead of using HTTP or HTTPS, we're using FTP, which stands for File Transfer Protocol. Now, this is not secure. If you want to use secure, you want to implement SSH. And I talk a little bit about this using the later version of it, which is secure. So one of the things that we want to capitalize on, and I want to implement this so you can see that there are tools that exist for a long time that has vulnerability, a weakness, and they would be used for some form of attacks. So when you enable FTP server, there is an option to use VS FTPD. This is a service that stands for Very Secure FTP Daemon. Okay. This is used in Ubuntu, CentOS, Fedora, NimBX, Slackware, and many of the distribution, including Kali and the Debian releases that you see out there. So one of the things that they found was in 2011, this version of the downloadable VSFTPD is flawed. What happened is it is enabling issues, or it has vulnerability where, you know, the server would have compromise with account. So it is not safe. The reason why we're using it is we want to scan it out, right? We want to enable it. So when you see an FTP server, if they use it, when you scan it, you're gonna see it. Okay. All right. Any question? Are we okay? Okay, so once you're on your Kali, it's gonna look like this. I want you to open your terminal and you want to follow along. So that way, in case you get stuck or have questions, just like before, when we type, be careful with the syntax. The cool thing about this virtual machine is you can copy and paste. So that means I can take something from here like this, copy, right? And then paste it into my terminal. Right? But if the symbols don't translate well, then just retype that part. Okay? But I want you to see the command and understand what that is. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is we want to check our system to see if we have an FTP, right? And the way that you use it is to use the FTP command. In Linux machine, if you want to find out if your local computer, the computer that you're on right now, has FTP, you use this command. Okay, FTP localhost. So we're going to go ahead and check it first. Okay, and I can type or I can paste it in. Hello. We're working on lab 3. So it tells me first, if you read, yours might not say this because I already enabled FTP on mine, right? Yours might say connection failed. It could not find anything, right? So in that case, we know that we don't have an FTP service. But if you see something like mine, it says connected to localhost, that means that I have FTP service. Understand? So when you use the command FTP and you point to the target system, if you connect it to it, in this case, I'm pointing to myself. I'm saying, is my computer have FTP service? And because I enable it, it says yes. And it tells me the version because I installed it, okay? And if you have the actual service, it's gonna ask you for a login name, right? Okay, to exit, when it says show no connection, you're gonna type bye to get out of FTP CLI. CLI stands for command line. So when you type bye, it's gonna take you back to your terminal. Okay, anytime that you're in a command line interface for the application, you can either exit, right? Or in FTP case, we're gonna type bye, like goodbye, okay? Any question? So I said here, type bye to exit. And anytime that you work with Linux system, before you install anything, update. So we are going to do sudo apt update. And it's going to ask for the password. Type in Kali. Okay. It's going to take a few seconds to update. So it's going to pull all the updated stuff from Git, and then it's going to put that there. So once I'm done update, I want to elevate my privilege because you can do this as a Kali user, but you're going to run into editing config file later. Anytime that you configuring in any machine, including Windows, right, we have to be at a higher level as far as access. So sudo, yes. It doesn't blink anything. Did you type in Cali?
Yeah.
K-A-L-I? Benjamin. Other than Yang, it won't show. In Linux, it will not blink to your cursor. The cursor will not move. Yeah. It's okay. Oh, when is it? Are you trying to another drive? Okay. Yeah, WordPress is a little touchy when it goes from a different file system. So go back to your download. And then, maybe copy the zip folder, go back to your, copy this. And then put it on your desktop or something, okay?
Oh.
Yeah, just extract it onto where you place it on the computer, put it on the local computer. Yeah. Okay, any question? So we are gonna sudo su, which allows you to elevate yourself to a super user. SU stands for super user. And now you become root. You notice that it's gonna be a little bit different in path from a regular user, bless you, to root user. And we need this to do config file, okay? Remember that for any Linux release. Okay, so here I am at step 12. Now what I'm gonna do is I am going to install this, which is the package we talked about earlier. And in Linux, there's a firewall called UFW. And what you want to, what I want is, in Kali, normally, I think they turn it off. But if you want to enable it, you just say yes, and then we're gonna add the rule. So I wanna show you adding rules for your server as well, okay? So we're gonna do this. What will that do is we are gonna install this package for FTP, and we're gonna allow that for the firewall. So yours might take a little bit, right? But it should say installing this version. Remember that in the documentation, they said that the 3.x version, there's some flaw, right? So an FTP is already the newest version, and my firewall is at the newest version. Okay. Any question? So what step did I complete? I completed step 13. I install this for the FTP server, FTP, and the firewall.
What each sudo does what?
Super user do. Technically, I don't need sudo anymore that I'm already at root.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then your app. So
Yeah, app install vs FTPD. This is the package for the FTP server, FTP, and the firewall.
that's authorizing you to go through the firewall.
Yeah, no, just to install those.
Just install.
Yeah, we haven't set up the rules yet. We will come that way. We will go further along and set up the rule. Okay, so now after I install, I'm gonna enable the service. There's a difference between enabling service and starting service. Enabling service, all that does is it's gonna make that service available to start. Once you enable the service, then you can start the service. Understand? Yes. It will not link to your Okay, when you guys type the password, RCC.
Still saying, all right,
It's only one password. That's okay. Sometime a few times. All right. So we are going to enable the service by doing this command. We're working on lab 3. And for those of you, make sure that you go through the first part, and now we're in the second part, which is FTP. So we're going to enable the service, right? Paste. And after it enabled the service, it's going to tell me that it's executing, right? Enable this. You see? So after that, we're going to start the service. Okay. You can just start the service, but I normally go through enable the service. So enabling the service doesn't mean that it's starting the service. You can enable the service and stop the service. Okay. You can, but in order to get rid of the service, you have to disable the service. Understand? There are enable, disable, start, and stop. Different. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and start the service. It's going to tell you that it's not going to output anything. That means that it's successful. Okay. If it's giving you error, like failed to start the service, then we have a problem. We have to check our connection. Okay. So if everything goes smoothly, it's going to go to the next prompt. All right. When the system is silent, it's good. When it's making a lot of noise, it's giving you a lot of text, then we might have to look into what it's giving you. So if it asks you for the password, which at this point you already at the root user, you might not have to enter the password. Okay. All right. Okay. Question. Now we want to check to see if the service, because you just started it, you're not sure, right? You're going to check and you're going to use the status command. And this is what you want. Active running, timestamp, how long ago, right? This is my process ID for this server, right? Remember the package we just installed and enabled? The task, CPU, memory usage, right?
I have one disabled. At the, you see your first one, where it says, yeah, right there, mine says disabled.
So go
But
back.
the active says,
It's
active,
running.
It's running.
Okay, so you might want to come back to this one, 14, and then do that one. Okay, so it might be running, but then it's somehow it's not enabled. Are we good? Okay. And you can always restart it. Okay, so after that, so it gives you the log of information. Then we are going to, you don't have to close the terminal. If it gives you like end of line or something like that, close the terminal and then reopen it. Okay. Because it's actually giving you like the text version of it.
So you can't keep going, you just, it's already.
Well, you can scroll down more, read the entire document, and then move forward. But I didn't want like 3 extra steps to do that. Right?
But like the terminal is still gonna be used in the terminal.
Right. See how mine says right here? Lines 1 through 12 end, because it's still giving you status, right? And what it's saying is there's more information that it's giving you. Okay. And you can scroll down, you can go through and read it. So what we'll do is we just close it and then reopen it. Okay. You can open multiple terminals. Any question? All right. So now I want you to find your IP address. This is mine, okay? So what you're gonna do is, just like before, we talked about this IP address. We don't use ifconfig anymore. That is deprecated. Do not use ifconfig. It's no longer supported as a command.
What about in Windows?
ipconfig, one word.
IP?
So IP address in Linux, most releases. So which address? You're gonna come down to section 2 F0 and you're gonna look at this address, okay, on yours. And write down the CIDR, the /24. Okay, the whole thing, the purple and the CIDR. This is a loop back. We talked about this last time. We want to use the version 4 IP. So go ahead and record that for A19. So what does the CIDR24 means, right? All that is we're using something like this. Your subnet mask is 255.255.255.0. It is 24 bits on. So 8 bits, 8 bits, 8 bits, that gives you 24. That means that it's /24. Okay. For those of you who already took Cisco classes or CIS40A, you asked me, well, why is this class A with the subnet mask 24? Well, sometimes we would use CIDR to be able to segregate a network by using a different subnet mask. And that is part of subnetting. Okay.
How do you find that?
When you look at your address,
Oh,
look at the F0, and then it's right here.
no, the subnet. Okay.
I'm sorry?
So, are we on the second part B of 19, or are we still on?
That's A.
Oh, okay.
And then I'm explaining B now.
Oh, okay.
So the CIDR, the /24 right here means that it's 24 bits on. That means it's 255, that's 8 bit. 255, that's another 8 bits. 255, that's another 8. 8 plus 8 plus 8 is 24 bits. So think of this is like a zip code for your computer. What it is it's like the home address, and this is the zip code. Okay. The system doesn't care about so the switch, when it brings the traffic in, it just look at which bits are on and which bits are off. It doesn't care about this until it gets to that system, right? So the router is going to take it to the segment, which is going to look at which bits are on and which bits are off. Okay. So your subnet mask, if it's /24, it's going to be 255, 255, 255.0. Okay. And you will learn this in networking classes. It's very important that you know how to read IP addresses and its subnet mask. So for those of you who are at RCC, you're going to do that in CIS26A through F or whatever, right? And if you're at MVC, if you want to take Network Plus, doesn't mean you can't. I teach it next semester in the fall, CIS40A. Okay, so we already found our subnet mask, right? Which is this part right here. Then I want you to take a screenshot. And for those of you who still don't remember, we are going to use snip. And then you open up your screen like this, take new, and then just cut it. Drag, and then just paste it onto your document here, like this. Not like that, like this. Control V to paste, right? Or you can just do print screen and then paste it. Sometimes that doesn't work though. They have a new way to take the, okay. Any question? Okay, so we're gonna do FTP localhost again. Okay, FTP localhost. Yep. Yes.
But I think it's on, like, well,
Okay, yeah, so correct, I think those two. And then if, the outcomes, you open it. Then look at. Proceed with the next step. Yeah, we are gonna use something different, are you gonna use it for the look at last three on Canvas and download the document. Okay, last three. Yeah, you don't want that. It's a good file. So log into.
Oh, yeah.
Go down to so all I'm going to do is so platform on the page. And go ahead and put this. It's okay, just work on this right now. Follow the step as you are, okay? Don't worry about the little step. Come back. Yeah. So we're gonna do this and done. There's a plenty of that. Download the first one, and then step out the 7 minutes. I'm going to verify the data. All the steps in 1 7 minutes, 7 minutes, 7 minutes. So if they ask you what it is, and you get a number, and then you go to the last line, and for the silence, you don't keep on like you guys can put that. That's $10. And then I'll just run 24. All right, and other questions? The bid, so, yeah, type buy to get out of FTP CLI. And then like buy BYE. Okay. So if we want to get rid of FTP, right, we just go by and then we come back to terminal like this. And if you want to get back to root, remember sudo su, okay? And then Callie.
The local host, you want that to go on Cali, FTP. And then to the there, so you know that it doesn't have it.
That's good. You guys got it. All right. Very good. It's good that you explained to each other well. I'm glad. Okay, next we are gonna edit the config file. So whenever that you are back to Cali, anytime that you want to elevate your privilege, you're gonna do sudo su, okay? I know I didn't put all those steps, but I assume that you already went through it, so you know. If it tells you no, because in this step 4, you have to be in root. Step 22 and onward, we have to be at root level. Otherwise, you're gonna run into a problem later. Okay, so we're gonna use the text editor. We saw this already in lab 1. And we're gonna use Nano to edit the config file. So in Linux server or any server, there is a configuration with a set of settings that's stored in a list. And on the Linux systems, it's gonna look like this. It would have like, oh, what the users can do, what kind of permissions that you're gonna have, who can connect to the server. So when you set up the Linux server, a lot of the time you just have to modify the conf or the conf file. That's the configuration file, right? So we would use the text editor to get into this. And all you have to do is to modify the value for the variable, and then you're good, okay? So from an attacker standpoint, if I have access to this file, I can change the way your server is gonna be, right? So we want to control the access privilege or the permission for this, the access privilege to our system and the permission for the file. So what I'm telling you here is once you're in the text editor, I'm gonna test something. So by default, anonymous user is not enabled. Okay? But we want to enable it because we want to check to see if it's vulnerable. In practice, anonymous, no. Okay? But what we want to do is we want to test this to see if the scanner is gonna pick it up. Okay? So basically I'm building a vulnerable server right now. That's what I'm doing. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is come back here in my Nano, use your arrow key to go down, and I want you to look for anonymous, which is right here. And then I want you to change the no to the yes, but in capital. Okay. So you need to edit all the variable that's stated. So change, so this was probably no like this, right? Erase it and type yes in capital. Yes.
So my problem is this.
Did you install successfully? No, the VS, login fail. All right, so we're gonna change anonymous to yes. That means that I don't have to have a login. I'm just gonna use anonymous user and then password, right? That's the default. So then I'm gonna scroll down some more. And then I'm going to check for local enable yes. Sometimes it's already there. You just want to verify it, okay? So come back here, use your arrows key to scroll down and make sure that local enable, make sure that the value is yes there. Okay, that means that I can locally log in, right? If you don't want to, you can change that to no and then save it and it's gonna update. All right. So we did that. Then we're gonna go down and we're going to check. We're gonna add this line to the bottom of the file. Okay, so you need to put in the hashtag. Let me check something real quick. I don't think you need a hashtag, but give me a second. So go all the way down, because I already checked this earlier, all the way down. So just to give you some information, right? This one let you uploads, right? Change ownership to whoever. So all of these things you can modify throughout the file. Idle session, timeout. So you can modify. So this is like the settings that you want to change. Okay. So what I want is I want to add in this line on the bottom. Allowed writable ch root is yes. And make sure that we're on root for this. Otherwise, you have to sudo su and then access this file again. We're going to add in passive min port range. Starting port is going to be 40,000. So FTP port needs to be later in the list. The common ports is from 0 to 2000. That's the industry known, common known ports. But all the FTP ports or some of your server ports needs to be like 40,000, 50,000, or even 70,000. You have to add typos. Yeah, I listed those. If you scroll down to the next step, you have to add in those 3 lines so formats. CH local user, yes. Just go down. There. It should already be there.
We'll need to have the actual path on it.
For the CH local, right here.
Oh, okay, that's it.
Yeah. Let me see. I'm gonna try to, I modified this earlier. Let me see, Control X. Yeah, I think it should be okay without the hash. Cause I put a hash on there and it didn't take earlier. So I tried to do an upload and it didn't take, but you know,
Where do you add the,
on the bottom of the file.
oh, at the very bottom?
Yes, the very bottom. So you need to add the port range. So what we're saying to the system is we're gonna allow writable CH root.
Oh,
So that means that I can upload to the folder on the server. And then I can change it, right? I need to have the port is gonna start, the minimum of the range is gonna be 40,000 and it's gonna go up to 50,000. So it can use any port within that range. And we are going to allow the user to have this. We're gonna add the user to the user list. We are gonna do that shortly. So I have all of this. And the user list enable, I think that's already there, but you can double check. Let me double check real quick. I think it's at the beginning.
no.
Oh, you just type it in. User list enable is yes. Okay, so make sure we have those items in like this at the bottom. Just type it. And then you're gonna press Control X together and then press yes and enter to save. So Control X, yes, for Y, and then enter. Okay. Control X, and it's gonna say, do you want to save to buffer? Y for yes, and then enter. Same name. So what did I modify? For those of you who are still working on that, add those lines to the bottom. So go through those steps and then add each of the line. Okay. That's gonna be the configuration, and then Control X, yes, and enter. Okay. Oh, I forgot this one. Sorry. I didn't do that earlier. Let me double check. Make sure that we also have the user list. No, deny no. So we're not going to deny the user. Otherwise, it's going to kick you out. So one more. I missed that one. User list, deny no. Yeah, you don't need those comments. I put those there for you. But if you add it to the configuration file, if you go back to it, you can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can up arrow key to repeat the last step. That's how you repeat it. Okay, save, and then you're gonna restart the service for step 33. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and Control X, and then yes, and enter. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, because you're not en route. So are you, does it show blue Cali? Right here. Your user account, is it Cali? Is it blue?
Yes. They're writing aloud.
Save it. Yeah. If you control, control F.
Oh, yeah, you see, I had something on.
Okay, so because you, every time that you close the terminal, you're gonna boot back as a pound user. If your user is in blue, right, so, yeah, so do control X. You can't save it now, so no, and see how your user is Kelly right here? So you have to be at root to modify any configuration, so do sudo space activate. Now up arrow key. Switch to this nano. Scroll down, you already modified the top, so after is not the same. Okay. Nothing. So, oh yeah, anonymous, you could change that to yes. So that's the wrong one. So I like the wrong one. No.
Oh, you didn't use.
So you gotta use it. No. I just put it on one. Okay. All right, very good. Any other questions? Yeah, you gotta be a super user. So you have to redo that part as a super user because it's not gonna take it won't let you save in the configuration. We need to be at root Cali for the config file. If you're on as Cali, it shows in blue like this. Then you have to redo the nano. So just do a super user do, right? As super user, then you're it. You're in, and then you just gotta do this part and then modify your file. Okay, so now you know what it takes to edit the configuration file for the Linux server. Okay. Question? All right, I'm gonna restart my service. Other questions? Let me know if you need help. So after I edit my file, I always want to restart the service so it updates. It does eventually update, but it takes time for it to do so on its own. And then what we're gonna do is we are going to look at ports, okay? We're gonna look at listening ports. So when you turn on your FTP, even the document says that your port 19, 20, and 21 are open, right? At home, when you look at this on your Wi-Fi router, it's not open, right? We don't open these ports unless we're using services that's required those ports.
21 is it's gonna show on here as a listening port because that's the main port are just the value that's tied to a connection for FTP. So I am going to go ahead and in my terminal, I can also do, right, list of file. That's what LSOF is for. List of file information port, and then it's gonna look for the listening port. And this is how you can check your listening port. Okay, so paste. Yeah. It should let you show you the listening part. Let me see. Did you guys get an output? No output on that? From grep? Let me see the next one, maybe. Yeah, you should get something.
Oh, we didn't start it. We didn't start the service.
I did. I restarted it right here. Let's do FTP localhost real quick. Yeah, it's not, it's looping for me. Let me try it as a Kali user, because give me a second. I try to. Yeah, it's not. Is your connection not working like this?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, we have to probably restart this. When we edit the configuration file, probably stop something. Yeah, I know. I tested it twice and it worked earlier, so let me restart it. You can do the step 15 again. Use not correct. Must be something in the configuration file. Let me double check again, okay? I added the deny thing at the bottom and it did that. So let me check. Writable CH root. Intro. FTP. Cannot connect to. Yeah, I don't think that matters with the, are you talking about this one? The config file? Yeah, I added the hash and it's still doing that. I think the only thing I added was user list deny no. That means that you can add to the user list, but it shouldn't, somehow I lost connection. So let me restart the service. It's always like how it's gonna be. Like an hour ago when I reran this, it shows fine, and then I rewrote your steps and now it's doing this. All right, it's okay. All right, so we just restart the service. It will be like this, right? If you're not getting an output for the netstat, it's because you're not connected. So let me see why, if I can get it. Yeah, it should be like this. So keep restarting the service and it's gonna show the listen port like that. If you do FTP localhost and it's not showing can't connect like this, just do the restart, right, for the service, and then it should have a listening port. Yes. Yeah, okay, so because you want to do like this, yes, control Alt, Cell, no. You have to do the space and start in. So now you're on this. You can't modify configuration file as a regular user. That's what somebody exactly.
Yeah. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, so when you rerun the restart command for the service, and then when you run the netstat, it should show the listening.
I've done it a couple of times in the past. I'm on the step like forcing, please don't.
Okay, maybe. Okay, Eric, a few times, go back and edit your nano. So, there you go, press enter. Okay, press enter. And then go all the way down. All to the bottom. What I did was I modified one of the things, and I think the hashtag. This one, yeah. Yes. Save and then restart. Oh. So let's test it, and then I'll tell the class. Add a hashtag. Okay, and then press Control X. Press enter. Yes. Okay. Up, arrow key to restart. Next one. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, go back down. There you go. Okay. And then do the next step. Okay, so. All right, so it was my boo-boo. I took it off. Okay, so for those of you who are not having listening port, this is the fix. Okay, I had it right the first time, and then when I took it off, that gives me the problem. Okay, so you're gonna go up to your nano. When you edit your nano, your file, your config file, right? Remember I took the hashtag off in front of the user service? That took off the service. Yes, that's correct. You need to add in the hashtag for allow writable CH root, yes. Because it is a service that the system need at the low level, so you need a hashtag in front of that. And then save. And then restart the service, right? You gotta do the restart FTPD service, and then do the next step, and it should give you the video. Yeah. I knew I was right the first time, and I doubted myself. Question? Good. So we're only started the service. You're gonna be like, this is what I'm gonna be doing. No thanks. It's fun, right? Okay. So now what we're gonna do is we are gonna put down the listening value, okay? So when you look, it tells you the port right here, 21. And if I do the other command, it should work, okay? Like the listening port right here, that should work as well. See? Both of those commands should give you the listening port. Any questions?
So it's typically like 21.
Yes. So port 21 is, you will always remember this from now on, FTP. Yes. That's version 6. Yes. So when you see TCP version 6, right? This is this is the actual location for VSFTPD. This is the port value. It tells you that it's listening on port 21. Okay. Now SSH is right below that, right? So when you're using secure FTP, it's actually just FTP with SSH. So it's 22. Okay. We always need to remember port number. This is the nature of the field. So if you have a hard time, make a list and start remembering your port value from this week. All right. Question? Okay, so we should be able to get output value for this. Okay. And then what you are going to see is what is your port value. That's 21. And then we are going to check our firewall now. So even if you enable the service, if your firewall's blocking it, good luck, right? So we want to check our firewall. Sorry, when it pastes, it's doing. There you go. So it tells me it's inactive. Okay. So what we can do is we can turn it on. Okay. We're going to allow 20, 21, and 990. Any question? Yes.
Oh. She did that.
Yeah, you gotta do this. Key in the support and then do this next. Okay. Okay, so this line is there. You don't need to add a line. Okay, so. Yeah, we're only gonna add the last one. So it's gonna be, yeah, so if you have to search for these and change the value, like this is no. You can search for where it is. You can tell them, and then just do another. This is your own process. So control X. Oh, that. Yeah. There we go. And then in here, you're gonna scroll down. That's right there. Yes, so it's on the side, go to the variable on the side. But if it doesn't exist, you will not, okay? There you go. It makes a difference. It's space and type space spread. Just separating one command with the next. You can tell me again, I do pop up another one, another. So X.
Oh.
Right, the file name is. I was supposed to be. Here, so it says Aaron writing. I don't know. I know. And the next one, do the for both again. Hold on, and talk to the most. Yes. Wow. Did you do like 2021 and 1997? Yeah. Oh, this one right here, that's cool. Oh, okay. Yeah, so I have, that was in 30. Not in this. So. I can't use that. I'm gonna do the balls. But then this one, only so I'm. Just the, this is the. Now, we know for, local name was like already. I don't know, it's weird or something. It's been a long day. I think for this one, for green, support is allowed, if you literally give so that the 2021 and 990. What is the green? What is that? The next one, these are four, I have these are four. No, it's four. It's not because four right now. And because four is no one is, that would be 20. Okay, so the five. Okay, that works. So that's fine. I'm just saying. I don't want to forget. Okay. Okay, so you. I think so. Okay.
And then, so let's go back to the details. I didn't put mine. Okay, so we just added a new user. The user is a regular concept, and we have to get users. Next, we will have okay, so I see that the this one. This is a different command line. This is someone. Yeah. Yeah, okay. We're going to do not want to echo in that file. You can type it, you're also going to echo, and it's gonna enter this,
Yeah, yeah.
we're going to or create so that's how you are. This is now you're at home. And yeah, then you're gonna make that right. Earlier, you still access this. So it lets you edit this, but it doesn't let you save it. You understand? So now what we're gonna do is we are going to control X. Yeah, it's that, right? So it's not started yet. If you modify it, you have to restart. Okay, so we're gonna come down to file this. Yeah, so your firewall is in this. Doesn't have to go in the other password. So apparently it looks like we already created that already. So I think we created all of that folder. And okay, so that I'm checking the status. Maybe for you. FTP. Have verbals. So it was disabled. We have to enable and do that, right? Yeah, sometimes earlier when we did the installation, sometimes it turns it off on. And then somehow when we modify the rule, sometimes it does that, and that's off. So when you see that it's not active like that, you just instead of that, you change that to enable. Yeah. It's sure there's some. No. Yeah, we're going to go through we're going to the ICE command, like the admin, and we're going to I'll get an image on this. Yeah, we're on this lower level. So. Getting it. I don't know. But, Mars, I bought it because it's Houston. Yes. No,
I think most of the first thing.
it's good to follow there, it's not just. But, yeah, so there's the part of the. And, the person from the, when it says that. For the owner, we want to do that. Yeah, no, that's allowed them to run the on. So that. And more is on, that's the motion, by. Yeah, I think it's. Next one, 47, maintaining and information. Yeah. So anything new, that's file directory. So, reading that directory, something else that can be said with the file. I think it's still takes time, but sometimes it's really. Yeah, so that way when you go back to it, you can edit it.
Oh, that's the information. Oh.
So you need to know the file. And something that happens, there's a lot of people who are told,
So you gotta.
modify the rule of it, stop it. So we're going to change that. So pseudo file opening. Now, so we relax. Alright. Okay, so we got the address, and slash football is the site. That means you have to find, so when all the bits come on in binary, that's what we call. So, by every binary is.
I don't know, I said to do it.
It's, look at the same, yeah, that's on, oh, 40 down. Yeah, you don't. So,
No, yes, a name of service non-noun. Yes, that's what they said, we need to modify the permission of. Yeah, I did too, I created a new user in the password.
And so it's kind of like, I'm setting up. You may mess it up. I think. So this is like, yeah, this is so then landline, but it narrows down to, what you open it up, that's the hard side. No, so that means actually the receiver is out of the post. No, it's like.
Some of them are managed and some of them are. They are, that's right. Yeah. But it has that really- and then it's like an episode.
And then, you go to what you started rather and then that's side. Yeah, but you in that's exactly what you need to know what that's what you're right. Ultimately, when you are telling what it's where you actually write, I think ultrasound. Yeah.
Right.
So you can baby, yeah, bring them to our side. Yeah. Yeah, and so, but you see, yeah, you know, when you come in, you have one thing. So you have to go to the registry, and the heart, murmurs and stuff. You want to so your assignment is gonna be my so right, I looked it over, not only was that up to the but yeah, for you have to figure out. So I said that you can always set the speed shot is for you to look at that. Oh, that's I like all the but I don't want to do them different. So they give it yeah, help us play. And then you successfully created an right? Talk about that. Yeah, so just enable it. I need to ask that step back. All right, so, let's do this. No? It does that. So, yeah, so whenever you guys know, I kind of for now, I'm doing it. Earlier, right? And then this one we added in my file, right? This one we also add again for version 6. We do both version pages. Version 6. Yeah, I don't know. I think how I just realized I don't have the box and off. Right, but I don't do it because the way they modify Cali is that they but in any case, whenever you use Linux firewall, you always want to make sure or use the word. Okay, so there's a lot of questions about the firewall business, right? So I wanted to address this. When you did this part, okay, you saw that we checked the status of the firewall. A lot of you are like, oh, why is it inactive? Sometimes when you modify things or it is disabled somehow, you can always turn it on, right? See how mine says inactive like that? That means it's turned off. What you can do is you can go and change this instead of status to enable. Okay, so when you do sudo UFW enable, and it's gonna say, oh, the firewall is active. Now, it happens sometimes when you modify the rules because it will turn it off at the rules, and then you have to manually enable it. Now, in the case where if you want to turn it off, what do? I use the same command, but change it to disable, and it turns it off. Okay, so we are now active and enabled. Okay, so now we can add the ports, and you will see once that happens, right? I already added these rules, so it's skipping it. And then now I can check for the status, right? So you added the port range, and this is the common ports for TCP, for FTP. So remember that 21 is the primary, the others are also listening. So if I'm an attacker and I know that you have a vulnerable FTP, I'm just gonna keep attacking that port, right? Because it's not secured. So, and also we enable anonymous, so I can just log in as an anonymous user, and you tested that too, right? So, question.
I didn't enable the firewall in over the port. Did they open?
So you can still add the rule, but if you don't enable the firewall, it is not working. So that means I can add the rules all day, but if I disable it, it won't be effective. That's what I'm saying.
So when I enable it now, those commands will still work, or do I have to renew them?
Oh, yeah. So you enable it now, it should filter.
I should do
Sure.
everything that we just did.
So think about just like Windows firewall, you can add the rules, but you can turn it off. You know what I mean? Okay, so once you enable it, when you do status, it's gonna look like this. And if you do verbose just mean more details, okay? So sometimes you're gonna get the same thing, sometimes you get a little bit more text. So if you want more details, you know, you want to include V or verbose, okay? So in this lab, not only you configure server, you add a user, you control permission for that user, you also control firewall, right? So a lot of security practice, but last part, we're gonna do a scan. Okay, we still have 30 minutes, so I'm still okay. Okay, so as you go, take the screenshot, look at the connection. Here, I come back here, I'm gonna see that I have, these are the ports I added. V6 just mean that it's version 6, okay? And then it's from anywhere. Now, I want to control this a little better for real, right? Because I want to be from specific connection, maybe. Not, if this is a public FTP, maybe I should create a user account like what I showed you there. Okay. I originally added more things to this, but I just didn't have, well, we're not going to have time to finish it, but in the future, I'll show you how you can control permission on the upload level. Okay, so we're gonna do a user add, and I already added this user already, right? So it's gonna ask you, so let me change the username. So I'm gonna do a test FTP1, and it's gonna ask for a password. Give it a password that you can remember, okay? And then retype it. And then when it gets asked for the full name, just press enter, 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 enter until the end. And then you want to say, yes, that's correct. Press enter. You don't need to fill out all the crazy stuff. It's the generic user that we're going to test. But in realistic situation, we are going to put in their full name, their work information, all of that. Okay. So I added the user. Then what I'm going to do is I am going to add this user to the user list. And in the first week, we already talked about echo, this is append text to a file. So we are gonna we're gonna add this to the user list this way. And you can do the pipe to combine both of the commands. Okay. So coming here, I'm gonna go ahead and do this. And then it added my user. Sorry, I should have the new user, which is 1. Okay. So I have 2 user now. And then I'm gonna make a folder for them to be able to connect to the local system by or uploading and downloading from the server. So I'm gonna change directory to home. And then once I'm in home, or you can do backup a directory, I'm gonna make a folder called test FTP. Oh, it's already there. So test FTP 1. Two. There we go. I already have 1 also. I tested a couple. All right.
When you added the users, that made the folder already?
No, not necessarily.
Like I had the same thing where.
Oh, yeah, so for the FTP 1, yes, it did. Because that's like documents in Windows.
Okay, so I,
The home is the the C drive, and then that's
like,
the
yeah, when you're
documents.
looking on the thing, that's like.
Yeah.
It's like their documents folder.
Right. So if you can't, if you might not even need this, so let me highlight that. Okay. And then access it. CD test FTP 1, CD FTP, or then you make a new folder. Right? So what we're doing is when you want to check, you can do an ls and it should tells you the folder that you make. Okay. Oops. Right? So I made an FTP, then I move into it, and then I make upload. So in a server, you want to keep things organized. You have a parent folder called FTP, then you have download and upload where things are going to go accordingly for the user. Okay. So I'm here, and then I'm going to make, right? I'm going to go CD FTP and then mkdir upload. Okay. So we want to make sure we can do ls, and we should see our upload folder. Now, in this one, what we're going to do is we are going to change, we're going to move back all the way back by doing CD command, right? So I'm going to go back out from all the directory. See how that changes my path? I move all the way back. And then I'm going to do a ch own that is changing ownership. Okay. So when you do that, you change the ownership of the FTP folder. Because I created as a root user, I want to give that ownership to the test FTP user. Okay. So we should be able to do that. And then we are going to do chmod, and this allows you to have the right and access AW. That's permission control for the folder. Okay. You shouldn't see any error. If it throws an error, that means that you had either entered the command wrong or something is wrong with the path. Okay. Then we are going to set the permission. So the step is that you need to change ownership. Then you need to change the permission. Then you need to change the actual access, right, for the subfolder. Okay, and then we're gonna append the file. So here, we're gonna set the permission. And then after that, we're going to, and if you want to check, right? I just need to go here and I do ls-l and it's gonna give me the file property. Okay, so I would need to do cd home test FTP upload, and then I issue ls-l and it's gonna give me the file property. All right. Next one is 48. We are going to add in a file called test1.txt. What that does is it's gonna append, right, this text into this file. We've seen this before. And it's gonna be in these folders. Okay. Now you are simply going to replace your IP address, putting it here. Remember how you looked at that in step 19 earlier? We're gonna do FTP-P and then type in your IP address like 10.0.2. blah, blah, blah. That's right. And I highlighted in yellow. Right? FTP-P. In my case, it's 10.0.2.15. So go up to your document at the beginning, put in your IP address. So if your FTP server works, you should be able to connect to itself. If it's telling you it's failing, FTP localhost is the same one, but localhost uses loopback. And you should get something like that. And then test it with anonymous user. Username is anonymous lowercase. Password is password lowercase. We enabled that in the configuration first step, right? The configuration file, the first thing that we changed. You can also check to see if your FTP user works. The test FTP with the password you created. If it fails, then that means that you need to modify the permission. Okay. Or access level. By BYD.
So you said that you can go to a FTP, you can put an IP address, right?
FTP-P and then your IP address.
And then put name
Yeah, that's the username.
by name.
That, yeah, anonymous. Or that's FTP, that's the best thing, right? You do a user access. Yeah, but we enable anonymous.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so anonymous lowercase. And then password is lowercase. So you can test to see if anonymous work or the user account that you created work.
Okay, put login fail.
No, is that your IP? That can't be your IP. Is that your IP? But IP space address. You know, a lot of people have like, people don't know what they want to do, so like the last week, I think it's coming. Yeah, it's connecting, yeah, like for itself, like. When it's not resolving, you can actually to the, I'm sorry, zero, to, yeah, I would have done like zero, like, I don't know, that's like. Type in anonymous, you know what, I thought. Yeah, so I. Oh, and why. Anonymous, oh, yes. Sorry, I'm. So it works. So now try the FTP command again. Now what's that? Or it's kind of good. Now you then type that zero and then you copy that 15. There you go. It works now.
Need to be in the group.
Sometimes it does that. Or, you know, sometimes that we restarted the service, so maybe that. Oh.
Look at the first time.
Oh, okay, yeah. So go ahead and look at the picture. So. Yeah. So that's the part. So this is the. Restart, like 33. Where you at? I'm done. The arrow, right. I think the arrow, right. No, not really. I'm on 50. I am on 52. Okay, so you need to, and then says login, go up. Back to the arrow up there. Oh. Go up to where it says. So, and it has to log in. So everybody knows how. Well, you don't have to kind of do it in there. You have to do that, and then also address it to nobody. You guys can change from here. When we change that, we did, I put it on like nobody. We didn't give them permission. So we have to change the owner. We changed, now this one is our login. We had permission to do it, so we thought. So. We have to change we set the owner of the log. So we had to have permission. I don't know what nobody is doing here.
Okay, so the name.
I don't know what it is. When I got, I just put down what it is. I'll be right there. Yeah, we gotta remember this thing. Fine. Goodbye. Yes, I know. Oh. Yeah, you're not on as the right.
Oh, your API is like, we remember all of the. You didn't write it out? Don. Guys, remember?
Single phase out of FTP. Okay.
No. Okay. Yeah, but yeah, so you know, yeah, it's different, yeah. Yeah, that's, the connect.
So we copy all of that and we have to copy the stuff earlier. So, when I use it, it's no one. So, but that's what it is. It's just like there's not a. Exactly. Control X, yes, and questions? Give me a second, I'll check. Oh, allow. Yeah, so at the end, you're gonna do that. So that's what it comes to, is you know, like when I gave the first call. We're all carrying the, you know, like, yeah, but you know what you, okay, if I go down there, I'll try to log in. Log in, try something, you know. FTP. No. So go ahead and click on YouTube, or I don't know, now, so long, yeah, the bottom is like in my mind, usually the IP address that we have is 10.0. The only thing that I think about is maybe when you enable the firewall, there might be something, but I just, yeah, no, but. So you can go back and look at the kind of IP. Your configuration file has access login, yes, you modify it in that. What about your user? Function? So, push the command, the arrow, look at that, 24. No. Yeah, yeah, so there must be a configuration file. You won't be able to access with that. That's all. So there was one instruction that there was one line that has to access. Yeah, but then I don't know if you line like this. You can try doing that 100. I do want to see if it's gonna work. I don't know if it's gonna work. On there. Yeah. So, even did you enable anonymous? So he has to stay in the right. So sometimes when you enable anonymous, that when you activate on the file, it's still gonna block. But your account, because what you did was you created an account and you allowed that person to access the file itself, maybe that subfolder or the third. So that allows. But at this point, we still have to upload, right, the file that we download or we created. You know, I had additional steps that you have to go through. But that's good, your account was created and, you know. Yes. Yeah, you could. So you have an active user that will have to be able to log into the server. Now you can hold the full out. You know how we modify that, so that way the user can add files, so you can see it. And that's it.
So the name of the
Yes. And you can add a new user on the one. Right, but you can go back to disable anonymous and add for a user. And then for each user, you can give them certain conditions.
That's what you need the
Yeah. The folder. Yeah, change, so you gave them change ownership, that means they can write and read to that.
Take ownership right here.
Yes.
Where does it sit?
Okay. Yeah, check your permission for your user. Here, after you create the user, I'll be right there. Give me a second, I'm making my. Yeah, after you create the user and have the password. So
So it's, you're connected, it gives you 500. So, type 5. And FTP. So, it's trying to, so you need to. Remember, I think that was one of the items that we added, so, type 5. And then go to like Tornado. And then look at the. But I think that's one of the last lines, make sure that it's set to yes or the right path is there, otherwise it's not. So actually. But that is the better. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's a big one I want to. You could say that. Okay, and then the second one. Okay, all right. No. So I know that it's a little touchy. I know some of you, it was connected and then it got disconnected, right? So when you access this, right, and it might say timeout like mine because I haven't logged in forever. So you just type bye, and then you can restart it. Right? If your thing is connected, you should get a 222. This is a service code that's used for web. 500 is like error, right? It cannot locate, kind of like 404, what you see with the web. So if it doesn't work, just restart now, reboot your system and restart the service. It should be activated. Everything you configure, it's already there. Okay. So it should say something like this. All right. I know that I'm coming close to the end now. Some of you, well, how far are we at? Are we at the Nmap, some of you? Huh? 50 something, 60 something? 57. You're able to scan. So this, the part D only works if the other part works. Okay. It doesn't make sense to scan something that doesn't work. If you didn't configure your FTP, there's nothing you can scan. You can scan against your system, but it doesn't have anything to show. It will show something, but it won't have FTP to show. Okay. So what I'll do is I will pause here because it's 8 o'clock. I know some of you might need to go home to your family, and also you might have work after this. I'm not going to hold you a lot longer. I will pick this up because I already did this part. So I will talk about part D in the next one right before the next lab. I will put the extension for this one, that's fine. But if you want to finish it at home, right, you would know how, or you can download and you can redo the steps. The FTP, even for some of the upper students, this is a hard part for them because there are a lot of steps, right? So I want to show you how you can activate FTP server. And this is not the secure one. There's another section that you have to enable SSH for secure FTP. But it's okay if it doesn't work for today, just shut it down and then we'll pick it up next time. Okay? And then if you didn't finish, we can stop here, just highlight this section, we'll finish next time. I'll change the due date to next Monday. Okay, not a big deal. All right, so let's do attendance. I'm gonna stop recording real quick.